Hey, what's going on guys? Welcome back to our YouTube channel and welcome to this video. This is John from xemacscode and this is part 5 of our video tutorial series on how to create a point of sale system using JavaFX and MySQL as database. So from the previous tutorial, we have added few functions to our app or our desktop application POS. And basically this is what we are getting currently, where we can see the login, and if we try to log in with the correct username and password, then we should be able to see the dashboard of our point of sale system. And as you can see here, we have laid the layout, for example the buttons, and also for example the display for the products. So whenever I'm planning to make this like this, all the categories will be displayed right here on the left side, and whenever we click any of the item or any of the category on the left side, then all the products of that particular category will be displayed here at the center of the screen, where we could see supposedly the image and then the name of the product, and of course maybe the price. We could also add price right here. Now we have positioned the buttons on the bottom side of our screen, where we could create a new order, payment, and then we could also cancel order. We could manage product and manage table, and we also have sales report, and the last one is log out. And on the right side will be all the ordered items will be displayed, and the 0.0 here will represent the total of the items added to the order. Now in this video guys, we're going to be working with the manage table button. So if we click on this manage table, it should open a window that should be, or we could see all the tables inside our restaurant virtually created here in our dashboard of point of sale. So we could see all the tables available. We could see a list of tables. We could also add a new table. We could also edit and delete record or delete a certain table that we have added to our point of sale system. So again, we're going to be working with manage table button right here. So what we could do first is, in here we have created the JDBC database object right here, and first off, we added this particular function or method validate. Okay, so the purpose of this validate method is just to validate the username and password specified by the user. So the next step now is to add another method. So the purpose of this particular method is just to get the connection coming from this JDBC database object. So what we could do here is specify, so for example public, and then the return type will be connections. So of course we want the connection, the state of our connection. So get connection, and then open close parenthesis and open and close curly braces. Okay, and basically as you can see here, we have a try catch statement, and inside that try you can see the connection, what they call this, instantiation, where we create a connection object right here based on the driver manager, and then get connection method also specifying the URL, the database username, and database password. So actually we could also do the same right here in this particular method that we have added. So what we could do is add try and catch here, and of course we will be specifying SQL exception. Okay, and then say for example we could display print SQL exception. We could just copy and paste that. That particular method is right here. We have created that from the previous tutorials, and we could make this EX Okay, and inside here, what we could do is use the same statement connection, because basically what we want is the state or the connection itself from our database. So driver manager, and then we're gonna use the get connection method, and what we can do is just copy and paste this because we will be doing the same. Okay, and close this particular statement with a semicolon. Now after that, of course, we could return the connection. Okay, and of course, if something goes wrong with this particular statements right here, we will be getting SQL exception right here. Otherwise, if there's no connection, then we will return none. So this particular method, we will be using this all throughout our program. So whenever we need a connection, we will just use this particular method coming from this database object class. Okay, so for now, let's just save this. Okay, so the next step is to open up our dashboard controller. Okay, so as you can see here, we don't have any additional methods, but for now, let's open our fxml file of our dashboard. Okay, and we will try to add event listener to our manage table, for example. So let's click on this particular button, and under code, specify the fx ID. For example, you can say btn manage table. Okay, and then on the on action, we could specify manage table. Okay, so because the purpose of this particular action will be to manage the table, we could see, as I've said, we could see the list of tables inside our point of sale. We could also add, edit, and delete the table that we have added. Okay, so after this, we could save our dashboard.fxml file and go back to our NetBeans, update the controller of our dashboard. So all you have to do is right click the dashboard.fxml file and then make a controller, and you will be getting this particular button right here because we specified also the fx ID. We also specified the on action event, which is manage table. Okay, now basically what we want is whenever we click on this particular button, a window will appear right here. So we will add that method inside this particular dashboard controller, and what we could do is define a private method. So private void, and then we're gonna be opening a modal window. So when we say modal, meaning this particular window will be like a child of the parent window, and we can't do any action without closing this particular window first. So, and then of course right here we're gonna be passing the fxml file because we want this particular method to open a dynamic fxml file, meaning if we click any of these methods or any of these buttons, manage table, manage product, we can open dynamic window by just using that particular method. So we're gonna be specifying the resource file and of course the title. Of course, that's because we want to set the title. For example, for manage table, you will be using manage table title, right? So after that, we're gonna be creating a variable right here. So scene, and then fxml file. We're gonna be adding fxml file right here, and parent and stage, and let's just call this window. Okay, now let's just import this classes. There you go. And inside our method, let's go back to our method, open modal window. Right here, we will specify the resource by using our parent object. So that will be root equals, and then we will try to load the fxml file by using the fxml loader. That load, and then of course we will be using this particular class, and then get resource, and then of course the resource name. Okay, so we need to add exception clause for this. And then next, we're gonna set the scene to the newly loaded fxml file. So that will be fxml file equals new scene, and then we're gonna set the root object to this right here, and we will be creating a new window or a new stage by using our window object. So this will be window equals new stage. There you go. And then window dot set scene, and this will be the fxml file. Okay, and then what we could do is set the modality of our window, and we want this to be application modal. So the purpose of this is we cannot do anything on the background unless we close this current window that has been loaded or displayed. And the next one will be, we need this window to be always on top. Window that set iconified false. You could also set I'm setting this window without the title bar, without the resizing buttons. So stage style, and then we will set this to undecorated. Okay, and window that set title, and the value will be coming from the parameter right here. And last will be window that show and wait. There you go. And of course, we're going to be using this particular method again every time we click any of this button that needs window. So manage table and manage product, and later on sales report maybe. So let's go back here and let's save this. And inside the manage table method, what we could do here is add a try catch statement. This is where we will open the window, and let's add first new fxml file. So empty fxml file, and let's just name this tables. Okay, tables. And we're gonna be using a controller to this, so tables controller, and then click on next. For the CSS, let's just leave it as it is and click on finish. So this is what we will be calling if we click on this particular button, manage table. So for now, let's just set this, our manage table. So what we could do is use our method open modal window, and we will specify here the fxml file, which is tables.fxml, and we could say manage tables. Okay, so basically what we're trying to do here is use the open modal window method, and we specify the resource and we specify the title and do the rest of the operations right here, like for example setting the title of the window and setting the new resource file loaded right here. Now let's try to save this and make sure to clean and build our application to see the result, and we should be able to see the window of our tables or manage tables. So run file, and then let's just open, let's try to drag this admin in admin, and click on OK, and there you go. So if you click on this manage table, you're not seeing this, you cannot see this. Let's try to restart this first. You're not seeing this because I am using another monitor. So let's just remove this first and try to check. So clean and build, and then run file, and then admin, and then admin, and then this is the dashboard after logging in, and manage table. This is the what they call this, the window for managing the tables. So again, in this particular window, we will be adding the tables. We could edit, we could delete, and of course we could see all the tables available right here, or the tables added to our POS or point of sale system. So let's just close that and open up our tables.fxml file and start start to style this. Okay, so first off, let's try to add a panel or pane, and let's just resize this into maybe 16. Let's try 16. Okay, and we could change the color. Let me change the color of that, maybe this. Okay, so click on that, and then the style, click on this particular style, and then paste the color code, and we should be able to get this particular color, and we will just add this right here to add a bit of style, and maybe adjust the height of our pane into 13. Okay, so now let's add a label. So label, where is it? Let's just search for it. Label, and then text field, and then we also need perhaps you could copy and paste the button right here. So copy this and paste it right here. Okay, this will be for saving our table, and this will be table name. Okay, we could adjust this into something like this, and let's just add the adjust the height of our text field. Okay, make this a bit smaller. There we go. Okay, and then duplicate this button. And then duplicate. Okay, so this will be for update. This will be for delete. There we go. And also we need table view, where we could see the table names. Okay, so we could add fxid tables. There you go. And this is btn save, btn update, btn delete, and this is tf for text field, tf table name. Okay, and then we could set the fxid of this, call id, call name. So property, this should be name, this should be id. There you go. So save, and let's just update our controller tables. So make controller, and it should update our tables controller, where we will be seeing the table view, the table column, and of course the what do you call this, other buttons, the btn save, the update and delete. Okay, so after this we could create a new class or new bin class for our tables. So this will help us to manage our records coming from our database, especially the table for our tables. Okay, this will make sense in a bit. So this is, we will be adding two attributes to this, so the id, and that will be int, and then private string name, and we will be adding constructor, insert code, constructor, select all, and the same thing for our getter. Okay, getter, select all, generate. Okay, now we will be using this particular class, and of course we it will help us to manage our records in our database. So inside our tables controller, instead of the question mark, we will be using tables here. The same thing with our column tables, and then of course this will be integer tables, and then string. And we're gonna be adding new method right here. to display all the records coming from our database. And that will be public void and then show tables. And inside here we're gonna be using observable list, and this will hold all the tables. Okay, and then list equals get table list, and of course we need to create this particular method. So import first the observable list and create a method create table or get table list, and the get table list will also use observable list. Tables, and then table list equals fx collections dot observable array list. Okay, and in here we're gonna be using the connection. So as you can probably remember, we have created a get connection method right here in our database connection object, so we could use that here. But before that, we need to create an instance of our JDBC database object class. So that will be JDBC. Okay, and here inside initialize we need to instantiate the JDBC, meaning assign or create a new instance of the JDBC out of the JDBC database object class. So this will be JDBC database object, open and close parenthesis, and in here we could say JDBC dot get connection. Again, this is the method that we have defined here inside our database object class. Okay, now we need to import this, and we need to make sure that is coming from the java.sql. So let's just copy and paste this. Okay, and there you go. Okay, so right here we're gonna set the query equals select all from TBL tables. So this is the table coming from our MySQL database, so I'm gonna show you that, or the structure of that, later on. And then we're gonna be using statement and result set. Okay, and we're gonna be using try and catch here. This will be for exception handling. So st, then we're gonna be using the connection that create statement, and then result set equals st dot execute. We need to import first this. So statement and result set. There you go. So st dot execute query, and then specify the query string, select all from tables. There you go. And we're going to create an object of our tables class, and we're gonna check if the result set has value x. So we're gonna be iterating the result set, and while it has a result, then we're gonna be adding a new table, which is by using the ID, and this will be ID, and get string for the name of our table. Okay, and then you could say here table list, and then add tables. Okay, and what we could do is return the table list. There you go. Now that we have that, maybe we could, display the message right here if something goes wrong. Okay, otherwise it will return all the tables coming from our database. So this is the table for recording all the tables inside our restaurant. So if you have like table 1, table 2, table 3, you will have you will save that here in our database table, TBL tables. There you go. And right here, what we could do is set the cell value factory of our columns. I'll just copy and paste this to save us time. And basically what we're trying to do here is generate set the cell value factory of our columns. So this one is for the column ID, and the second one will be the column or the call name, and it should contain the information of the ID and the information for the table name. Okay, so there you go, tables, set items list, and let's call this method inside our initialize. So whenever we have, or whenever we open this tables window, it should display all the tables available or added to the what do you call this, added to the POS. So clean and build, and then run our file login.java, and then admin and admin, then login, and we should be getting this particular window, and click on manage table, and you should be getting this particular output right here. So we could see all the records coming from our database. And by the way, the database is like this. Browse. So this is the database that we are using. We have here TBL tables, and we also have users. So for the TBL tables, we have this particular structure, ID, auto increment, and then the name. Okay, so that's the structure of our TBL tables. Now what we could do is add another method to save the information. So for example, we type in here the table name, and then we click on the save. So it should add here the newly added table. So let's close this first, and close this, open up our table, or I mean the NetBeans IDE. And what we could do also here is try to add the insert record method. So private void, and then insert record, open and close parentheses. We're gonna be using or getting the name. So that's TF, and then table name, and then get text. Okay, so we're going to check if name is not empty, because we don't want to save an empty table name, right? So we're gonna check that and then set up the query right here. Insert into, and then tbl tables, and then of course we can specify the name, and then values, plus name plus, okay. And then in here, what we could do is create a method execute query, and then query. Okay, so the execute query, we will be creating this. Okay, so the purpose of execute query is just to execute our queries, right? So because we do have queries for inserting record, we have also query for updating a particular record. So I'll just copy and paste this line of codes here, and we're gonna be using JDBC object to get the connection, and then we will create an object for our statement, and create a statement and specify the query on execute update. Okay, and in here, where is it? Insert record. After inserting the record, we will be what do you call this? We will update the table display. So what we could do is call the method show table, and we need to clear the table name dot set text. Okay, and let's open up our tables.xml. So btn save, and on action, so this is we need to set an on action event to this. So for example, save table. Okay, save table, and let's just update our controller. Save table, there you go. And what we could do here is call the method insert record. Okay, open and close parentheses, and let's just clean and build this. Right, and then run our file and log in. So manage table, we should be seeing this particular window, and we should be able to save a new table right here. So table 6, and then click on save. So there you go, another table added, table 6. And I think that's all there is to it in this particular video tutorial. We will be continuing to, or we will continue to work with this particular window, for example, the update and delete of table. Okay, so I hope you guys learned something from this particular video, and of course, if you have questions, please let me know in the comment section below. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next video.